G'day everybody, welcome to the House of Mario, South Australian Nintendo podcast that is backed by a 120 Power Star rating. I'm your host Drew Agnew, and the doors to episode 286 are open. Today on the show, we're going to be talking about Emio, our impressions after finishing the game, and all of that fun stuff. I think Josh and I really enjoyed it. And of course, on the PlayStation side of things, Astro Bot, we've got the first contender to 3D Mario in the history of the Mario franchise. I don't know. I can't think of any other ones. But to talk a little about that is my good friend, Josh, or JT if you like. Josh, how you going?
Very well, Drew. Been such a busy Nintendo period the last couple of weeks. Lots going on. Plenty to talk about tonight. Astro Bot's been so good, hasn't it? It's like Sony taking a leaf out of Nintendo's book and making a really fun 3D platform that everyone likes. And it's super popular, really easy and cheap to make from all accounts. Well, who would have known? Like, the Nintendo way to do things can be pretty profitable. I don't know.
Yeah. Just make some fun family games that translate well to a good audience. Why not?
Correct.
Yeah, it's just, I guess it's harder than it seems.
Well, Nintendo makes it look easy, I reckon, and everyone else struggles with it, maybe.
Maybe. But Josh, how you going? How's your week been? We missed an episode last week. That was my fault. But it's good to hear from you again. Not just listening to your show in my AirPods, but actually listening to you in my headphones. But you're replying in real time, so this is nice.
Yeah, no, it's good. And yeah, definitely a shame we couldn't catch up last week because we had a lot to talk about then, and we have even more to talk about today. But been very good. Busy with obviously work, but then finals for my umpiring. All that is happening right now, keeping me busy. But then Nintendo Live, not last weekend, but the weekend before, had a massive day on the Sunday just with Michaela, just going down to Sydney for the day, flying in and out, doing everything there was to experience there. Created a lot of content, had review, like a mega episode recording Tuesday last week with some of the other attendees. Recorded another episode of Nintendomania yesterday and had it published today. So, like, this isn't a fortnightly thing. Josh is doing a weekly show at this rate, and all the content out there for everyone to hopefully enjoy and listen to. Please check it out if you are so interested. But in between all that, been playing lots of Emio. Finished that, and then I finished that Thursday night last week because I knew because like Astro Bot coming out the next day, I just had to get it done. I had to get it like out of the way. I wanted to know as well anyway. Get that satisfaction of getting the ending and seeing who actually did it, who was the killer, how it happened, all that kind of stuff. Because then I was ready for the complete 180 that was Astro Bot, which is a very, G-rated game, fun and friendly. There is no killing. There's no paper bags of dead bodies in that game. I'm just enjoying the different vibe of it all. So it's been great lately.
Yeah, Astro Bot just wears the carcass of other PlayStation characters. That's as dark as Astro Bot gets,
isn't it? I was like looking at them all, like, oh yeah, yep. They were so synonymous with PlayStation, and like, when's the last time there was a game? It's just been maybe like remasters or recollections for some of them, and I don't know. Just isn't what it used to be, was it? The PlayStation brand.
It's the strength and the weakness of, I guess, PlayStation. How they do move on for better or for worse. Like you would like them to go back to some franchises, but it also allows them to free themselves up and move on and make other stuff. Like, I guess Naughty Dog, if they never moved on from Jack and Daxter, would have never moved to Uncharted, which led to The Last of Us and all of that. So no, it's sort of a good thing. But I know, like, on the Nintendo side, if Nintendo said, hey, look, we're never going to make another Legend of Zelda game ever again. We're going to move on to something new. It's like, no.
No.
I want another one.
Correct.
How many we had? We got like 17 Zelda games, like mainline Zelda games or whatever it is.
And there's spin-offs and other entries. It's just, Yeah,
it's like, I want another one still. Come on.
Yeah.
Have I played all the ones you've made? I haven't. But I need a new one.
I just couldn't fathom them doing that, and just like my whole thing is, okay, if you need to make more different games, just hire more people, grow bigger, and people will move on if they want to do different things. Keep the studio doing the same game and just making more versions of it that are better every time.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to see Sony go back to some of their franchises. I'm just happy.
Which one? Which one the most?
This is such a biased answer, but it's so greedy on my behalf. I love Gravity Rush, but
Yep.
I am so thankful we got a. It's a miracle we got a sequel to the original game. Like,
Yep.
Gravity Rush was a PlayStation Vita game. It did what it did, and then it got like a full sequel on PlayStation 4, which just blew the Vita version out of the water as far as like, technical goes and story and everything. It was just amazing. So I'm just so happy we got that game full stop, and all of that team's gone. They're actually doing Slit Ahead at the moment. That's coming out later this year. So a little bit greedy. Another one would be cool. They kind of wrapped up the story pretty well, but I just love that franchise so much.
Yeah,
but
well,
there's a lot of like early, I guess, PlayStation 1 and 2 games that I haven't really gotten around to yet. So I don't really need sequels to them. Like, I've never played Jak and Daxter or even
Ape
Sly
Escape.
Cooper. Yeah, Ape Escape. Like, I haven't really played any of these games. They weren't a part of my childhood. So I got into PlayStation with the Vita and the PS3. So I've sort of joined there. But so as far as like real old stuff, I don't really, I'm not really clamoring for any sequels or any returns. I just want sort of HD re-releases so I can actually play them. That's mainly what I'm after. I'm really itching actually to play like God of War 1, 2, 3. I want to play all the God of Wars, then go through and play, I guess, the reboot, then Ragnarok. So I don't know. I'm not really looking for sequels. I just want them to make them available. Otherwise, I'm just going to put them on my Steam Deck and charge through them that way.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah.
Fair enough.
So let's jump into Emio. I was really looking forward to talking to you about this last week. Just hot off the game. You hadn't finished it yet, so we weren't going to get into it too, I guess, deeply as far as story and that goes. We're not going to touch any story here. It's a game that's very important you don't get spoiled on. Obviously, it's a murder mystery case. If you get spoiled on a clue or even who the person is, so that's kind of it done. So definitely no spoilers here. But the game at the moment, it's sitting on Metacritic at a 76, and the user score is actually a little bit higher, an 80. Well, not an 80 actually. It's a 8.5. They do. I don't know why they do different scales for the users and the critics.
That's weird.
Yeah, do what you got to do, I guess. Yeah, pretty much. So I guess straight off the bat, what did you think of the game? Is it worth people playing? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I had dabbled a little bit with the very first remake, The Missing Heir, and I played like for an hour or so, and like, okay, I don't know, I'm just not quite vibing with it or gelling with it, so I just kind of stopped playing, and it kind of left at that. But there's this whole premise, this whole build up to the game, I think's kind of really intrigued me from the get go. Just their 15-second marketing tease at this new IP Nintendo horror game. Like, what the hell could this be? And then we find out it's a Famicom Detective Club game, a new one. I've just really, the writing is what's really kept me engaged and interested in this whole game the entire time. And anything like potentially clunky that you might consider with the way you choose dialogue and interact with people you're interviewing or trying to get clues out of. To me, that didn't feel like an issue towards the end of it. Like, I kind of knew what to do and how to get through things, and it is just what it is, I suppose, for me. But I found it really gripping, and I just wanted to know more. It definitely leads you in different directions. You think you got different assumptions about who might be the person, the killer, like what's their motive, anything like that. And then it just says, how about none of those things, and tells you what it is at the end, and you're like, oh my God. And it just, it's very, very enjoyable from that point of view. So I thought, as someone who hasn't played a lot of visual novels before through video games, I went into it pretty fresh and raw, not really knowing what to expect, but I came out of it thinking this is very fun, and I'm still thinking about it. Like, I finished it Thursday last week, and I'm still thinking about it like every day. Like, I want to get more information. I want to know more things, and now I'm like, do I play The Girl Who Stood Behind, the other remake in the Famicom Detective Club series that came as part of that dual pack, because I've heard that's a bit better than The Missing Heir. I don't know, I've just kind of got that itch to sort of keep going along, but then I've got Castlevania, Dominus Drew, and then I've got Astro Bot. I'm like, oh my God, this is just so much going on. But yeah, it was super super interesting and great. And then that ending, the epilogue, is just unreal. And I just didn't know Nintendo had it in them really to do something as it's dark and gruesome, but it is satisfying watching. I kind of had my mouth open as I saw the end and what happened. How about you? Sounds like you kind of smashed it out and didn't take too long. You were done by Monday last week, were you?
Yeah, it must have been. I'm trying to think back because it's been like, it feels like forever ago now, to be honest,
Yep.
when I actually beat it. But yeah, it must have been before our I guess, recording time last week. So yeah, it came out Thursday and I played over the weekend. I did like 2 or 3 chapters a night type of thing.
Yeah.
It's 12 chapters. So yeah,
Smashed it.
must have smashed it out that way. But yeah, I'm the same way. I think for me, just with how busy, I guess this month especially is in late August, I was looking at this game being like, oh, look, I'm interested. It's a Nintendo game and I do like visual novels. And I am in the mood for a sort of, bit of a murder mystery. I do enjoy those. But I could have easily given this a miss. But, we are in the fortunate position where we were provided a code by Nintendo Australia. So
Yes.
thank you very much to the team there.
Yes,
So
thank you.
it sort of took the decision and the financial obligation away from me. So I'm like, oh, well, I'm quite actually excited to give it a go. So the game's $70. So yeah, like I said, I don't think I could have seen myself go, look, I'll give it a go for $70. It's just $70 is $70. But I'm really glad that I did play it because in hindsight, if I could go back and tell myself, be like, hey, look, no, pick it up, you'll really enjoy it. But yeah, I'm in a similar boat to you where the story was very interesting, a little bit slow at times, like chapter to chapter, not a lot's happening, but you are sort of talking to people and you're like, they're acting a bit strange. This is a bit odd. Like that's sort of like the whole game to some extent. There's like some standout moments. There's some fake outs. There's all these types of things that keep you going. But I wouldn't say that there's no moment in the game where it's like, oh, chapter, 1 or chapter 6. Like there's not anything in between like the start and the end, which is like, oh, that's a massive highlight. Apart from maybe like a couple of interesting ways the developers actually utilize the mechanics of just like selecting your options as far as like the gameplay goes. So yeah, the story's a little bit slow, but it didn't stop me from playing it or enjoying it. And the payoff was pretty good in the end. I think it was like a really, really well done how Nintendo wrapped it up. So yeah, I'm very, very high on the game.
Yep.
It's in my top 5 for the year. So yeah, and what's my? I've got like 43 games on that list. So look, it's
up there.
It's up there. So yeah,
Yeah.
So yeah, when I finished up, like, I was thinking about it for a couple of days. Just been, wow, that was something, and thinking about like other characters I interacted with throughout the whole game and piecing it together like in my own head, like, oh yeah, I guess that sucks, and this means that, and all of this that goes on when you're putting together like a murder mystery case.
Yeah.
So yeah, really, really like the game. I think it's worth picking up. It's just, I think for a lot of people, it's just like, it's a big ask. Like, it's almost a full price game. There's so much coming out, which people will probably know they're really going to like. For example, if you've got a PlayStation 5, we're going to talk about Astro Bot. I think a lot of people in the Nintendo community will be like, I'll probably like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Or say, Call of Duty's next month. There's just massive games just coming out of everywhere. So it's a little bit hard to make the room in the gaming budget for something like this. But I would definitely recommend it. Even if you're not into visual novels, just, sort of stretch your genres out a little bit. See if you like something new. And you played it as well, that there is a demo that allows you to go up to chapter 3. So I think that'd be a good recommendation if you're sort of interested, like, oh, look, I might enjoy this. It's made by Nintendo. I would like to just improve my knowledge of what their studios are up to in the Switch generation type of thing, at the very least. Just go and check out the demo. Then your progress carries over from that.
Yeah,
But, yeah.
And I thought Chapter 3 was really good. I don't know, I just felt that kind of gripped me a bit, like I kind of understood it a bit more. So for people trying it out and on the fence, like if you get to chapter 3 and it doesn't gel with you by then you probably, I don't know, there's probably a good chance that this game isn't going to quite be for you. It doesn't take, probably took 2 hours to do the demo in full. I don't know, maybe a bit under if you can smash it out. But like Drew, I was just getting content to talk about it for like B-roll as I like for the episode I just recorded, and I redid the first chapter, and it just like, man, because I know things now, and I'm just like, oh, I view it so differently now, and it's like
100%.
Yeah, I'm like, oh man, they are like misdirecting you in certain places, and it's just like, oh, I love it. It's yeah, a second playthrough, you're just going to see things so differently and understand it in a different way. It's yeah, very cleverly written, I thought, and you definitely understand the pacing at times. Felt, you know, like, okay, I didn't feel like much happened in a certain chapter or anything like that. Be interested to play it again and sort of see if that still felt the case, knowing what we know now. But I kind of imagine that's similar to what, you know, detective work is. Sometimes you're doing the grunt work and going through the profiling, interviewing people, and, you know, like, I'm getting information here. I don't know whether it's helpful or not, but there's one character in particular. You meet up a lot at a cafe, and I thought, I don't know what's happening here. Like, this is a lot of information for this. But looking back at it now, I kind of get it a bit more why that happened. The context always helps in the end, but yeah, definitely understand. This is a tough time for this game to come out with everything that's come out or will be coming out in the next few weeks. It's tougher, but I really hope that people get behind it if they're somewhat interested, and I hope it sells well. I hope it sells okay, and that they feel like they can make another one, because I'm a fan now. I'm a fan of this series. I want to play the other two. I'm going to play them, and you know, would love to see some new ones going forward.
Yeah, I think I guess the praise I can give it is when I finished the game, I went, that was cool. And I went to the eShop and I wish listed the other two, the bundle in the remakes of the original games. I'm like, I'd like to play these one day.
They've never been
this
on sale.
year, no. Just time-wise, no.
Yeah.
But one day, that is also like a very expensive bundle as well. You can use like your online vouchers, but
which is what I did.
Yeah, but it's like $90 otherwise. It's like, oh, $90, I don't know. Probably not right now.
It was cheaper to play. I mean, yeah, it's what, $60 for Emio on the eShop. So the cheaper option, if you can only buy one of the thing, even though it's not cheaper per game because the other one's $90 for 2 games. But yeah, I haven't seen them on sale. I definitely think them being bundled together for $90 hampered sales in Australia as well. I think it got a physical special edition in Japan. I think elsewhere it's just been digital, but I think you could buy them separately in other regions. But Australia, for some reason, you had to buy them together. So, yeah, I don't think that helped at all. And I've never seen it in the sales figures any time that Nintendo's talked about their games, and so I don't think this series or those remakes 3 years ago sold well. But yeah, just hoping it's a bit different this time with Emio.
I wonder what their metrics are for success for this game, because are they looking to sell like a few 100,000 copies? Like, is that a success for this game as far as the budget and everything? I don't know. Like, obviously they're not looking for like a massive success. I don't think they would be that delusional when it comes to what they expect from it. But it'd just be interesting. Like, if it hit it hit like the fans that wanted to play it, which is only like a very small handful of people in the grand scheme of things of Nintendo fans, is that enough for them? Or I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the ceiling's 1 million. If they could get to 1 million by the end of the next quarter, the end of September.
Yeah, that's a higher ceiling for this type of game too, I think.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. But if I just feel the marketing's helped create a bit of buzz. I'm just seeing now if it's in the charts. But yeah, I agree. I think that's the ceiling. That's them, really pushing it. Castlevania's 6th. Emio is in the top 30. I haven't checked recently the sales charts, so I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, unlikely for it to get to 1 million for sure.
So yeah, definitely recommended. But I guess other things as well. I think like the game's pretty gorgeous as well. Just how it's
very
drawn. and animated. I think it looks really nice. On the OLED Switch, it's gorgeous. Like I played mainly in handheld mode apart from like a couple of hours. I actually sat right here. I played it on my monitor. It looks really nice blown up as well. Because I was thinking that I didn't really need it like blown up. It's not the type of game I need to play on the TV. It's kind of a weird game to play on the TV in some ways. But yeah, it looks really nice blown up too, and I appreciated it like that as well.
Yep.
So yeah, what did you think about just the presentation and all that?
Yeah, it's beautiful, and it looks like it's like a drawing, and then you'll have the character come to life. The 3D models, from the looks of it, when they do move sometimes, and there are moments when that does happen. Some pretty later on, there's actual 3D stuff going on, and that's pretty powerful when that happens. I felt that was a really cool moment when that does occur. Beautifully drawn, and some of the sort of backdrops I was just sort of admiring a bit. Sort of took my time when I was playing it as well, but OLED would have been very nice for it. Played it on my OG Switch in handheld a lot because I played a fair chunk to and from Nintendo Live. So I was at the airport and on the plane. I think it was the perfect game actually for that. That was fun. So I played a lot of this in handheld. Usually I play these games. I'll play anything on my Switch docked, but I felt it was perfect for handheld gaming as I was on the go. So yeah, it worked out well.
Yeah. I played a lot of it in bed. That's where I mainly played it. Yeah. Time for bed. Took the Switch into the bed.
Bit of a little book before you go to bed.
Yeah. I'm like, reading. Yeah, this little boy die. What a nice little tale to go to sleep to.
Yeah, give you nice sweet dreams, Drew, for the next day.
Yeah. It's like, is that someone outside? God, as a kid, I got so scared, like looking at some like horror things. I swear I could see things outside my window and that nights after watching that type of stuff.
Okay.
I don't have the imagination these days, so it's not quite a big problem.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, not as hard.
Yeah. Especially in town, it's probably just somebody like looting my car. It's probably not a ghost, so I don't have to worry about it.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it's just to worry about it, but not in that way.
Not a supernatural way.
No, correct. Yep.
Yeah. I guess one thing we better actually touch on for this video game is the gameplay, and it's very basic. Just like you're talking to people. They're basically caricature is basically in front of you, and I really appreciate how it's all voice acted, even though it is Japanese. I do appreciate it being all voice acted, and like you're reading what they're saying. You got different options to select from. Throughout the game, they're mostly the same. You've got like the option to think, where you can sort of think things through. You can there's an option to look at the environment. There's another option to ask questions or listen, and I guess like the gameplay is just knowing when to select what option, like when to ask a question, when to like marinate on what they said and think it through, then select another option. And there are some points in the game too where it's like, I've got no idea what I'm doing, what I need to select. And the game does like a clever sort of answer to what you need to do, which I thought was pretty cool. And that's sometimes pretty frustrating as well. Just like sometimes I was just clicking around the menu, being like, I've got nothing left to click. I don't know what you want from me. And sometimes it just randomly kept going after like selecting like the same thing like 3 times. Like, all right. Okay. I don't feel like I worked anything out there or I did any interrogating or anything. I just selecting this menu, but it's just, I guess it's just what visual novels are. That's what you do in them, to some extent.
Yeah, there were definitely times when you got to press an option that you don't want to press, like leave to do something else. But like I feel like if you leave early, you might miss out on some information. Sometimes you got forced into that corner. Another option was save/quit investigation. You get forced at one stage to do that, and it's a little bit like, why are you making me do this? And so, other ones were when you had to you can look, and so and then you'd have to press on the person's face or their body just to get a different reaction out of them, look at them in a different way, or you analyze what they're looking like, and so by the end of it, you know what to sort of you go through it, and then most of the time it's fairly intuitive. Like, you know what you got to do. There's always the think option, and then your character will sort of hint you along the way, like what you need to do to prompt it and keep it going. But there are definitely times when you're like, I don't know what's happening, and I did get frustrated a few times, just exhausting all the options, and like I don't know what's happening. And there's one scene at the end of the game with an old man, and that was very frustrating. I don't know if you found that to be frustrating as well, Drew, but it was not my favorite moment, and I was very keen when that got done. I mean, it was very helpful in terms of information, but just not fun, I would call it. So I definitely think they could, it seems like it didn't change much, that process, compared to the other two remakes from a couple of years ago. And so I think that could have definitely been improved on compared to, and I'm sure there's ways it could have flowed a bit better, there are even moments when you had to use your notebook and select certain things, and that felt a little bit like, I can't remember quite what's going on here. We just sort of make do and try and keep guessing to get to the next stage. So you get tested in the end. You can get your grade. I don't know if you got your grade in the end, Drew. Did you work out how well you did by the end of it?
I forgot exactly what it was, but it wasn't very good.
Average.
It was like,
it wasn't
it was something
great.
like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it wasn't like I didn't get like a massive thumbs up and a smile.
No, same.
Yeah, because throughout the game, like most chapters towards the end, you sort of come back to the detective agency and you put together your evidence and you get asked questions like, oh, look, what did this person say? Like, so then you select what they said, and throughout the game, I guess it gets all scored up, and at the end you can see what you did right and wrong. But yeah, there was some that I got wrong, just been like, towards this, I felt like I did pretty well throughout the game, but there were some times where I got asked a question, I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Especially late at night where I'm like, oh, cross, I don't know, leave me alone.
Yeah. Why are you asking that? What have I done wrong?
Yeah.
I felt overall they did a good job at reinforcing things, and so your character, the protagonist, would, you'd read their thoughts, and that was a great way to retain the information. And at the end of a chapter, you'd get to review your thoughts with the Yumi, the other private investigator, your co-worker, and I felt like that was like I was getting the key points sort of sunk into my head a bit more, and I was playing it daily, and you had the option to review the plot when you restarted your game, and I felt like I didn't need to do that because I was kind of across it a bit, but that was good to know. Like if I missed it for a week, I could go back and they'd speed you up with it straight away. But yeah, it's just great writing for that to happen, I feel, as well. Like, you kind of knew what was, you didn't get too lost. There's definitely bits at the end I felt like they were asking slightly harder questions and I hadn't quite got the right answer or was missing something. But yeah, I think, the writing was good for that.
Yeah, especially like with Japanese names as well. Sometimes I just visually recognize them. Like if they actually ask like who it is, I'm not like, oh yeah, that's him. I'm like, I'll not when I see it, the name. But just off the bat, not straight away. But I guess to wrap up the discussion on this game, how would you compare it to a similar game Nintendo released at the start of the year with another code? Because that's like a story-based game. And that's obviously very different. You are walking around and interacting with the world somewhat in that game. But as far as like story, and if you want like a little bit hands-off in some ways, it's not action-packed or anything. You want like a bit of a mystery, bit of a tale told to you through Nintendo, and you can only get one. Which one would you go for?
Yes. I really liked Another Code. I thought that was a great package. And again, that was another surprise for something I wasn't really expecting or, sort of didn't have high expectations. Just thought it will be what it is and I'll take it for its face value, but it turned out to be better than I thought. And, same thing with Emio. But I think the story of Emio in this one sort of captured me a bit more. And I feel like there's less wasted gameplay because in a lot of Another Code, you're sort of just wandering around a little bit more, and some of the puzzles I didn't really care for as much, especially that second game. You're just doing these sequence games that I didn't, they're fine. They're not frustrating, but, they're not anything intuitive or anything like that. Whereas I just thought this one, like it's building up. You get your theories. There might be some frustrations, and there are with the HUD and how you sort of navigate and talk to people. But the story I just found gripping, and that ending, that payoff, it just made it so worth it, and it's just kind of lingered with me for more than I think Another Code did. So, if I had to choose, if it's still writing and stories like that one, then probably the Emio Famicom Detective Club ones for me. But how about you?
Well, I played through Emio and played it in 4 days, and Another Code I got bored. I barely played it, so that's my answer.
Yeah.
So I don't really have a good opinion on it, really. But
I mean, guess, I think that says enough. That you didn't. Yeah, Emio gripped you enough, and you played through it.
I've got a list of games that came out this year, but I want to go back to, and that is on the list. But there's a lot of games like before then that I want to get to.
And there'll be more that you don't know about that get announced, and so probably never.
Yeah, probably never. But I would like to. It's like, it's a DS classic because I just remember like the DS box art so vividly. And when I was a kid, I wasn't going to spend the money on it because, when you're a kid, obviously money's hard to come by. You've only got limited games you can buy. And at that stage, I wanted like Super Mario 64 DS and all of that, like, the mainline stuff.
Yeah.
But it'd be cool to. I would like to play it eventually, just to get that DS heritage in my veins. I guess speaking of DS, I kind of want to play like Ace Attorney and the other Famicom Detective games. I actually kind of want to like try out this genre a little bit more, like the mystery novel sort of thing. Like to give it a bit more of a go every now and again when I feel like just sitting back and doing some reading. Might be all about that, but not at the moment.
No.
Had my fill. I'll get back another day. I think for the rest of the year, there's no really room for backlog. It's all 2024 stuff. Towards the end of this year, just Zelda's coming up, Plucky Squire, Astro Bot. That's all this month. There's a Rugrats game I'm really looking forward to, Adventure in Game Land. I'm looking forward to that. Just found out the other day actually that it's going to be free on the Epic Games Store. I'm like, beautiful.
Okay. Cool.
Don't have to pay for it.
Yeah. Done.
That takes a decision out of my away from me, and I just get to download it and play it. So yeah, there's plenty to play.
Oh, there always is.
Too much, but I guess let's transition. You've been playing Emio on the plane, and you went on that plane to go to Nintendo Live in Sydney. And, of course, people can go to your podcast, your YouTube channel, Nintenvania. You've covered it extensively on there through a podcast, through a vlog, which was great. You did a voiceover, which was really cool. Go and support Josh's video. And
thank you.
So I just want to talk to you just about that even, like doing the voiceover for the vlog. That was something different. Did you go into it wanting to do that, or did you sort of like, it's going to be easier because it's going to be harder to talk on the show floor and all of that? How'd you come to doing that?
Yeah, well, so I had some equipment ready, thinking I would be talking on the show floor. So I had a gimbal, and then I had some audio stuff gifted to me. Ones you just clip on and they connect to your phone, and the audio quality wasn't great. So it was okay. So I planned to do that, but it didn't quite work, and so I might need to get the Rode stuff that you get, Drew, and that worked beautifully at PAX last year. But so it just meant, okay, I've got the footage, I'll just do a voiceover to it. I think that worked really well. I was pretty happy with it. So I got so much footage, I just clipped it all together, tried to get it within a reasonable time frame. Like, okay, yep, this is the cut, I'm happy with that, I'm just going to play it now and talk over it into my Rodecaster as I watch it. So
cool.
Yeah, I thought that worked really well. It was a really fun time. I think like we don't get this sort of stuff in Australia. We don't, Nintendo feels a bit like a marketing arm here and a distributor, of the games. This is where they send the games to, so they can sell them to Australia and then New Zealand as well. But you kind of look from afar at like what happens in Tokyo and then the States with these Nintendo Lives, and like, okay, that'd be cool to experience, but wasn't really expecting it to come to Australia. And then Sydney as well. I would have thought Melbourne, with where Nintendo's based, would make sense for them, but I think from a tourist kind of Australia point of view, Sydney does make sense from that point of view. But it was definitely check out the recording on Nintendo Bane if you want to hear like a really in-depth overview of it. Had a few other people join and talk about their experiences on the Saturday. I went on the Sunday. It was very much a showcase of everything that's currently on the Switch. Charles Martinet was awesome, and if you've never met him before, that was a great chance to sort of hear from him in the Q&As. There were free photos with him, and it was a free event. So as long as you registered for the ballot, and you got a ticket, it was free, and you could go in there, and technically there was nothing to pay for unless you went to the My Nintendo store and wanted to buy some merch. So, definitely designed to be sort of you're in and you're out. There were 3 different stages you could enter. You had to sort of get your warp pipe pass for a certain time. Michaela and I made sure to get the first one Sunday morning so we could just be there all day, because flying from Adelaide, you don't want to get there for an afternoon stint and then have to leave a couple hours after you're there. So that was good to get that shored up. Effectively outside the Charles Martinet Q&A and photo ops, there was lots of gamed like IP areas, like the Zelda, a Mario, a Pokemon section. You could play all the current games out on the Switch. Line up for that. There were mascots, characters dressed up. You could get photos with them. And then outside of that, there were other more sort of gamey things like the Mario Dojo, where you could compete with other people and like get like whittled down to the very last 4 to compete in a unique, different game every time to see who was the overall champion. So that was like a battle royale kind of thing, which was cool. And then there were the National Australian Championships for Splatoon 3, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and then Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as well. So that was the main stuff. I mean, like, if you've played a lot of stuff and don't want to play anything you've already played, and you didn't want to get photos with these mascots, it might not have been the place for you. But for real, like, people who are just fans and just sort of being brought together and seeing Charles and all the other perks of it all, I thought, like, for a free event, it was really fun. I had a really good time.
Yeah, I could imagine it'd just be fun just to be around just the atmosphere and a bunch of people who love Nintendo. And because that's the cool thing about PAX, like, you go there and gaming's so broad, but it is still fun to be around gamers. Like, for example, like you and I, we could run into like a group and like, oh, we love video games. Oh, what do you like to play? It's like, oh, I like to play World of Warcraft. I'm a big Blizzard fan. And we'll be like, we got nothing in common, but that's great.
Great. Yep.
But when you niche it down just that little bit, and it makes it really cool. I guess the closest thing I've been to what would be considered one of these, but I went to like the Connection tours back when they were in Adelaide when it was like 06 and 05 or whatever it was. I remember doing Mario Kart DS tournaments there. I actually won a race and went through to the next round. I was so excited as like a 9-year-old little boy.
Yeah.
Which was a lot of fun, but I can only imagine it on this scale. It would have been so good. But I guess just with it just being all about pretty much seeing Charles Martinet, getting merch, watching some tournaments and all of this thing, the mascots. Do you feel like it was worth your time to book the plane tickets and make the effort to get there?
I think so. We tried to do it as cheap as possible. We didn't stay for a night in a hotel. We just were there and back on the same day. Brought our own food. So we got some cheapish flights and we were pretty happy with it. If like you're comparing it to PAX, and sometimes they had Wonder last year, didn't they? And that was a brand new thing to experience, and that was cool. So I was kind of hoping they'd have like Echoes of Wisdom around as well, just something to sort of try a few weeks early, just to get that preview. PAX West or East, whatever it was in the States, was on at the same time that weekend, and so they got a chance to sort of preview it. So I thought that would have been a cool extra perk thing to have there, and that would have been really fun to experience that. But
I wonder why they didn't do it. Like, do they just not get access to it, or they decided that it wasn't a good fit for the event? I wonder, like, what the reasoning would be. Because, like, what? Yeah. Like, kind of, why wouldn't you? You've got that massive event set up. You've got all these fans. Just get them riled up for your next your biggest game of the year.
Yeah.
Just get them riled up for it. I don't really know why, unless, like, the politics of it come into it. Where it's like, look, we've got it. We can't do it more than one place in the world. Because I do know that because Nintendo Australia, they did privately preview it to journalists and stuff like a week or two before Nintendo Live. So, it's not like they didn't have the code or, something just silly like that.
Yeah, I really don't know whether, it just didn't work with this, like the layouts, or they didn't have the room for it, or they didn't want to create too much buzz from the event.
Fair enough.
Was it going to cause chaos, like lines and things? Would they be worried about that?
Listening to like the podcast you recorded with the three other boys, sound like lines were a bit of an issue the first day.
Yes, they were.
Whereas Zach actually brought up a pretty interesting point. Like there was massive lines for the merch and for Charles Martinet, as you would expect. But what if they had another big event, like say Echoes of Wisdom, where you could line up for that too, and it sort of spreads people out a little bit more? They could, that's an interesting point. Maybe it just would have buggered things up worse. Who knows?
Yeah, it was a great point. And I thought about it more, and I thought, if they did it the right way at the same times, it could have really sort of, not caused too much congestion in certain spots, because it was just those two really that caused the issues. So, I thought that would have been fun. And then even a Mario Party area for Jamboree. I felt that was the only missing thing that could have really made it a bit, like, improved it a bit more. Because, it's obviously you want to show off stuff that's already been around, but also there was stuff to sort of promote the new things coming along later this year. I thought it was still really overall fairly well organized, and there was a bit of peak traffic during the middle of the day, but then towards the end of the day there was a lot of space, and you could sort of had a bit more rain to sort of do the things I wanted to do a bit more. Like I checked out the Mario Dojo finally, because the lines were next to nothing. And so I was able to, like, if I lost the Mario Kart first round, I could go back and sort of not line up, just go back to the first stage and do the Mario Kart stage again. So that was fun to do. There was some complaints about, you couldn't buy food or drink there. So there was water provided. You could get water from certain stations, but no options to buy food. So it was very much you do your thing, you try a couple of things you want to do, then you leave for the day. And most of the people would have been Sydney-siders. They just take the train home, or however they got there, they just get back, and it's just a chill, fun day out for the family.
I guess the biggest thing too, the most exciting bit is just, I guess, getting to meet Charles Martinet, the voice of Mario, the ex-voice of Mario, I guess. He'll always be the voice of Mario in my heart, that's for sure. Yes. But I watched his Q&A for Saturday. Haven't watched the Sunday one yet. But yeah, it was it was a nice little talk he did, very sort of inspirational, which was nice. Being Charles, just goofing off, doing his voices.
Yep.
which was good. Yeah. What was it like being there in person? And actually, did you get to shake his hand? Did you get the
Yes. Yeah.
When his cologne?
Yeah. So the first thing we did when we got in was to line up for Charles, because we heard some horrible things with the lines. So we just sort of did that straight away, and we barely had to wait. So we were one of the first, I reckon, 20 people to get in and get a photo with him, shake his hand before we got our ticket for the My Nintendo store. So we didn't really have to line up for that either. It was just so inspirational and positive. That was, it was really good to see. And then he was talking a lot about self-love, and, you got to, like, be proud of yourself and love yourself, and that will help you do the things you want to do and achieve in your life, because if you want to do them, you can. And, got a bit emotional, got a little tear in my eye, and I think Michaela was the same when that stuff was being spoken. So, yeah, I think he understands his memo, like the requirement of being, such a, synonymous character, the voice of Mario for all these years now, and what it means to gamers around the world, both young and old. And yeah, he sort of takes that title, that mantle, and delivers on it, and has been a really great role model for people over those years. So no doubt whatsoever why Nintendo's, why they've decided to move on for his services in voice acting. They've still retained him in some shape for the Mario ambassador now, and wouldn't surprise me if he's on a pretty good wicket right now, getting paid to do these gigs, getting flown around the world, and speaking about his life achievements. So yeah, it was such a, like, he powered through those photos. He wanted to make sure as many people as possible got a photo with him, got to sort of get that little instant memory, lifelong cherishment happening. And yeah, he absolutely was a trooper throughout the entire time. Just yeah, there would have been hundreds of photos, thousands maybe by the end of it. I don't know. He saw so many people.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that one thing I took away from his Q&A was just like, he brings just that passionate energy to the voice of Mario, but it's not just the voice. He actually brought it to like the personality of Mario too, when he was talking about the first game that he voiced, Mario Teaches Typing, and how the script basically was written that if you failed, he's like, oh, you failed, or you know, basically like negative. But he sort of said, hey, what if we say, hey, look, you did good, but this is how you can go better. Like, he sort of put his positive spin on it.
Yeah,
and that whole sort of
the framing of the question or the response.
Yeah, the whole framing and the whole thought of who, I guess, the character of Mario is. You know, that's gone on through all the rest of the games ever since. And I think that's incredibly just important. And that's why, you know, Mario, he never failed, or, he never faded away. Like, he's still in his prime all these years later. And it is because of just like, you know, what Charles did, really. Just the iconic voice and the positive and lovable nature that just always sort of cheers you up, even like you can be going through some shit. But if you pick up like a Mario game, that is like, it's one of like the most joy-filled pieces of entertainment ever. And it's got a lot to do with obviously the game designers and just all of the immensely talented people behind the Mario games. But a bit like a lead singer of a band, I guess. It's just like, you know, Charles, what he's done for Mario has just been just so important. So good. It's cool that it's cool just to hear from him and all that, and seeing that in person definitely would have been really cool.
And it was, yeah. You could feel the positivity and the good vibes he was sort of sending through. So that's right. He sort of helped carve the personality of Mario of who he is today. So, you know, that's not just being the voice of the character, that's embodying the actual character itself. And so yeah, he's just a real life Mario, and sort of pushing that positive energy to everyone, and I just love it so much. And so, that was the special moment, was the Q&A, watching that and getting the photo with him. I think that was our special moment, and I think that would have been a lot of other people's over the weekend as well.
A little bit jealous, but at the same time,
you had your chance, mate. You could have come.
One way. Could I? Just hop in your suitcase. Let's go.
Yep.
But
next time.
Speaking of Mario, I guess, Josh, we finally got a competitor to 3D Mario. We've got Astro Bot. Both of us have been playing it on the PlayStation. I got my copy on Friday. I was actually kind of heartbroken because I thought it was coming out Thursday. I was so used to Nintendo Thursday releases already.
Yes.
How they changed it to Thursday. And I was like, all right, Thursday I'm going to go and, you know, get my copy and I'll get my controller. But I'm like, wait a minute. So when I checked EB Games, just the date, I'm like, oh, fuck. It is Friday. I was actually like, damn it. It's like,
I know.
Yeah, I was like, damn. I was expecting to play it a little bit earlier. But
I love these Thursday releases. They're so good, aren't they? I'm a big fan of them. They can keep them for the Switch successor, please.
See, I was a little bit like, oh, look, I prefer it to come out Friday because you pick it up, you play it Friday night. But I'm actually enjoying the extra night playing it because, Thursday night's also not too bad to sit down and play a game. as it turns out. Thursdays can also be a gaming night.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So, especially when we've got like our dedicated podcast recording time for the House of Mario, where it is like it's Monday or it's no day. So it's like we get that extra day for a release too, which is quite handy.
Yeah, and then I usually record my show Sunday, and so it's just like it just that extra day helps. I'm just appreciating that.
Thank you, Nintendo, but PlayStation, you're dead to us.
Any other consider it for next time, please. PlayStation.
I was looking at the Warhammer 40K not bolt gun, the latest Warhammer game that came out, third person shooter. I wouldn't mind getting that. Maybe I'll pick it up with Astro Bot because I used my Big W 10% discount for the month on the game. I'm like, oh look, I might pick up another game too, just to, I'd like to play that game.
Your Big W 10% discount for the month, is that like a one pass thing? Is that?
Yeah, it's like rewards. You sign up to be a rewards member, and you can get your discount at Woolworths and Big W. I don't want to be an advertisement for it, but I use it every now and again on video games to save some cash.
Sure. Why not?
It was also $80 at Big W, and it's $110 if you buy it on PSN or EB Games. I'm like, I think I'll go to Big W.
80 at Big W or 89?
89. Yes, 89.
Yeah.
Sorry, Josh. Thanks for the correction there. Everyone's like, what the fuck?
I would have been mad. I mean, like, yeah, God, I should have price matched at JB for that. Yeah.
Yeah, how much is JB? Same price everywhere.
89. Yep.
89, yeah. Yep. Everywhere except EB Games. Poor EB Games. They can't cut the price that much. They're like, look, we can't buy that much stock. I don't know.
They got all the mums who don't know, who go in and buy the game for their kid, and they're just, it's just $110, They just don't question it.
Yeah. I picked up, did you get the Astro Bot controller? DualSense?
I did, yes.
You did? Yeah.
Yes.
See, I wanted to get it at Big W, but they didn't have them at all. So I'm glad I did pre-order it from EB Games, because otherwise I wouldn't have got one. And I really like it. Really
so
like
good,
the
I love
little DualSense. Yeah,
I love the design. And then how much it's used in the game as well. I would have definitely had the FOMO if I did not get the controller at the same time.
Yeah. So I guess jumping to the game itself, no beating around the bush. This is just an amazing game. I was so excited when it got announced, and this is truly like, when it comes to like 3D platforms, like, oh look, it's not Mario, but it's fun. But this is truly like a 3D platformer that really spars with Mario on like his own level. Like this could go against like one of the best Mario games. It is truly that good. Just how each level is just unique with like a different gameplay mechanic, and similar to Mario games where each level just plays on a different mechanic. This does the exact same thing. The amount of charm, the music, utilizing the PlayStation 5 features with the DualSense and everything. I was jumping on a starfish, Josh, and I'm like, this feels amazing. It felt, my controller felt like I was bouncing on rubber.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like a trampoline. It wasn't like, it was just like, it felt like I could feel it. I could feel like the texture of the starfish I was jumping on. I was like, my God. Because I played Playroom.
Triggers, I love them so much. I think that's my favorite part of the PlayStation 5 controller. Just some of the things they can create in that trigger. It's so good.
Yeah.
It adds so much to the experience.
I do, but when like you're in this game, whenever you start off on a level, you fly in on your DualSense controller. Yep. Astro Bot's like holding on, and then like he lands, and then you start the level. But if you hold in the triggers, the adaptive triggers they make like a rattle sound.
Yep.
And I'm literally playing in bed. I'm like, it actually gives me a bit of anxiety, because it's like I don't want to be too loud next to Chantel when I'm playing the game.
You should not be playing that in bed at night next to someone. No, the controller's way too loud for that.
Yeah, it literally sounds like a toy machine gun.
Yeah, yep.
Oh my God.
Yep, that's no, not in the bedroom, that one.
Yeah, no, not in the bedroom. Get the one in the bedroom, Drew. Yeah. I always bring Astro Bot to bed. I've been bringing him to bed every night, actually. I've been really enjoying just 100%ing each world each night since the game came out. Tonight I'm up to the 4th world. So everything else is 100%ed apart from the last couple of worlds.
You're not too far off then. You're powering through.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it takes like 2 hours a world roughly for me to do it.
Yep.
Was it 2 hours? I got no idea. I usually finish my gaming session at 12 o'clock. So maybe 3 hours, closer to 3 hours probably to
Yep. Yep.
100% and do the secret levels that I unlock as well as I go through. But yeah, I've been really enjoying it. It's just an amazing game, just so much fun. Just don't know, it makes me like want to go back and play Galaxy and Galaxy 2. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, has this improved on those games, or do they still hold the crown? I'm not quite sure. It's been a little while.
I kept thinking throughout this whole thing, like, this feels like Galaxy 3 in what it could be if they ever, did it on next-gen hardware. The same sort of, like, smaller worlds sometimes. I just did it, like, the Green Triangle ones. Like, they were very, like, narrower challenges or platforming you had to get through. So it very much reminds me of Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, and just the aesthetic of that. I don't know, it looks beautiful, this game, and then, like... I love the movement with the controller. I just think the controller is just so good, and they just utilize it so well. Like, even the tapping. I was a mouse yesterday, so the whole level was you going big to small, and
how incredible is that?
I just
that
enjoyed
is just so clever.
Some of the things you got to do on that, and then like the little tapping when you're walking on metal, and then wood, and just all of it. I just think so immersive. You just don't get that in Nintendo. Or hardware really at the moment. Would love to see something like that eventually, but it's just ultra fun. You just want to keep looking around, exploring, and the music's great. I love this playlist. Like, I've listened to it previously, like on Spotify sometimes, and I just want to sort of like chill out and not listen to anything proper music wise, but just like a video game soundtrack. Astro Bot's got you covered, and just all of it combined, it just feels like a Nintendo IP that's moved across to Sony or something, and they've just taken like the reins and just done their take on it, and it's just pure whimsical fun, this game, and just helps transform you away. You can sort of forget your troubles during the day, just play this game, get immersed into it, and it's a really fun time. So the buzz around it's just been great. Everyone's on the same wavelength, I feel, with this one.
Yeah, so haven't finished it yet, but hopefully when I finish it, I'll feel the same. But I think to any Nintendo fan, if you have a PlayStation, check out this game, man. I hope it does well, because the PlayStation side of things, they've found great success with, their serious games. The Last of Us, for example, is one of my favorite games of all time. Top 3 game, absolutely amazing. But it's like I would like a bit of variety. This is it.
Yeah, I really see Sony as one to sort of be for everyone in terms of the more family-friendly stuff to the more darker stuff. So, they've talked about Team Asobi and how they've had a small team and were really able to really sort of pump this one out, and it's it's a 12 to 15 hour experience, and for a 3D platform that's probably a bit short, but they talked about how that's 12 to 15 hours of just like intense fun, no fluff in between to pad it out or anything like that. And it's I've got no issue with that being the length of the game and what you need to get through to the end. So
I don't need it to be longer. It's not like, oh look, I need it to be 30 hours. I don't need that many levels and all that.
No,
that's right. The cool thing about this type of thing is you can go back and just replay levels and all of this. So yeah, I'm not too worried about it. Are you going to try and get the platinum?
I would like to at this stage. I'm hooked enough to want to do that for sure. I don't know the requirements yet. I've definitely I caught like a golden butterfly the other day, and apparently that's quite a rare one at this stage to get. I've got that.
Yeah, I was checking the trophy list and I saw that. I'm like, oh, there must have been a butterfly there. I didn't get it.
Yep. I'm sure there's others I've obviously missed beforehand, but I'd love to. I don't platinum a lot, but this is one I'm definitely going to at least try.
Yeah, I'm definitely going for it. I want this platinum. And don't know, I might on a bit of a platinum kick if I get this one. I got Tales of Kenzera last month. Did that platinum. That was a pretty
you got a few
pretty basic platinum, just collecting
to get
stuff.
Through. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so I don't know, becoming a bit of a trophy boy. I don't want to be too much of a trophy boy. Sometimes it really hinders me. It just paralyzes me. Like, oh,
wow,
no, I've got to get all these. I've got to get all these backpacks and Spider-Man before I progress the story.
Yeah,
Like,
and
no.
you're playing the game in a totally different way, aren't you? When you go for them sometimes.
But 3D platformers, perfect game for like an achievement system. Like, I don't know.
Oh yeah,
Because in Mario, it's a lot of fun to be like, all right, I'm going to 100% it. When you 100% it, you're like, yeah, I did it. But I think like an achievement system of like 100%ing, and as well as doing these other sort of funny or fun or odd tasks along the way, like, catch the butterfly. There was one for, there's like a basketball ring. I'm like, I'm sure there's basketballs around here to put in it.
Yeah, got that.
So, there's a basketball. Throw it in, got a trophy. I'm like, cool. Like, it's just cool. I like it. I like doing that stuff. It's very good. But I don't know. Hopefully we get some more of these games from PlayStation and otherwise. Because there's plenty of indies, but there haven't been any indies that have hit the Mario tier. I know that's a very high tier to try and get to.
Yeah,
but
feels like you need a lot of money to get to it to make it look polished. And like the controls are just a massive thing, and this controls so well too. But yeah, I think a lot of platformers feel a bit airy sometimes. But this feels solid like a Mario platformer. You know what the controls are going to be, and they're pretty reliable as well. Did you just find it funny because that Concord 2 weeks ago that didn't even last 14 days as a massive epic failure, and then this is going to be like the complete opposite, and I think game of the year from all accounts, the highest Metacritic rated game for the year so far, could win game of the year. Pretty topsy-turvy couple of weeks for Sony.
Yeah, I am interested because the dedicated PlayStation fan base, they did not want Concord. I'm a part of that. I'm like,
I didn't want it either when I saw it. I was so intrigued by that trailer, then I saw what the actual game was, and I'm like, no, I'm fine. No thanks.
I did say before that like I was interested in getting the game, just be like, I want a multiplayer game that just leaves me alone. Like, I don't want to jump into Apex Legends. It's like, hey, look, check out the new battle path and give me $20 for this skin, and just leave me alone. Like, so that's what I kind of wanted from maybe Concord. Like, I could jump in. Nobody who plays hero shooters is playing this, so I've got actually space to breathe and actually learn to play the game. There were like a few benefits to paying for the game up front, and also just no one else cares about it. But it didn't even last long enough for me to get to the shops. Like, literally. I was thinking about picking it up with Astro Bot. Just, look, I'll get it and I'll play it. But yeah, it did not last long enough for me to go out to the shops and buy it. That's how quick it went. So I'll be interested with Astro Bot too, because Astro Bot, while it's a single player game, it's very high quality, it's very good. It's also a little bit outside of the dedicated PlayStation user base as well. So I'd be interested to see if it does, I guess, up to snuff to what PlayStation want it to do. I really hope it does. Hope Team Asobi just gets all the resources they ever need to make what they need. More Astro Bots, take other PlayStation IP, redo them. Like, there's so much thing. Like, even like they could become like their little Nintendo studio doing like little Nintendo games. Like, oh look, you make our Mario Kart now.
Remember Mod Nation? Do that again, but make it a lot more fun, please.
Yeah, just
that was actually really fun. I want them to bring that back. Mod Nation was awesome.
Yeah, I liked Mod Nation. I wasn't so much into like the making of the courses. That's the only thing with me. I'm like, look, I'm
not creative like that, but I'll play other people's.
Yeah. I
spent so many hours on that game. I want them to bring that back, please.
There was another one.
A lot of time on
I remember being
PS3.
really excited for, was it, I forgot what it was, Little Big Planet Karting? Or, yeah, I think that's what it's called. It was like a Little Big Planet karting game. I was really excited for it, but then it got bad reviews and I never bought it. But in hindsight, I wish I just bought it.
Yeah,
probably would have still found fun in it, because since I'm such a massive Mario Kart fan. At the time, it was only Mario Kart Wii, and Mario Kart Wii. That's what I got to say about that one. Great courses, Mario Kart Wii.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Coconut
Mall, classic.
Daisy Cruiser.
Nah,
I agree.
That's Double Dash, isn't it?
Might be actually.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not a real Mario Kart fan.
No, you're a fake Mario Kart fan. You disgust me. Hut put.
What did you say? The Hawk Tour? Is that what you said?
No, I didn't say hot tour. I said hot put.
I thought you said Hawk Tour. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh, I guess you could hawk to it. It doesn't have to be on what Shield's referring to it. It could just be on the ground.
Bloody hell, Drew. Man.
What do you mean, bloody hell? I didn't bring it up.
That's disgusting. Why would you say something like that? Why would you make me think that you said something like that?
Because I'm a dirty man, yeah. I was playing the long game just to get your mind there.
Yeah. I get it now.
Oh, and it worked too. Now everyone's thinking it.
Yep, correct. So I'm just looking up the mushroom cup in that.
Oh, God. You're looking at the mushroom after that conversation.
Moo Meadows. Warriors Goldmine, that was good.
That was a good one. There's a lot of great
Maple
courses.
Treeway. Yeah, Grumble Volcano.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just didn't like how the game was balanced. They did big, wide courses.
They were wide.
Just really annoying items. Just getting bombarded with shit everywhere. Yeah. So I found it frustrating. The battle mode they may as well have just left the battle mode out of that one.
Yeah. I think, just trying to remember it now. I agree with the racing. It's just not as memorable as what Double Dash was for me, or obviously what Mario Kart 8 became afterwards. Or Mario Kart DS as well. That was so good.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful game. Love Mario Kart DS. My second favorite Mario Kart game, apart from Deluxe and Wii U. Yeah. Well, I guess just talking about the Mario Kart and how we got onto that tangent, it's just like PlayStation, they made a very Nintendo game and they made it very well. What's another sort of Nintendo-ish game you'd like to see another, I guess Xbox, PlayStation, or just any big third-party company make? Like, what would you like more of from like a different perspective? Because I think obviously the Mario games are amazing, but it is actually kind of cool seeing, Astro Bot on a PlayStation 5, which when say you knock over a tree and like all these parts come out, or there's some levels where you've got a magnet and you're sucking up like hundreds of these bits of metal, and the Switch, or even the Switch 2, probably won't be doing that type of technical lifting where it's actually like so many parts and objects on screen. Because there's some parts of the game like all these apples just drop from the sky and the whole sort of level's just full of these apples, and you're just knocking them around and you're playing with them. And it's just fun. You're not really doing it for any reason, but it's just they put a bunch of objects in there for you to interact with, but that's something that you don't get in the Mario game because, it's just limited in that way by its hardware. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just think the 3D platform is obviously awesome, and I think they're one of my favorite types of games. And so seeing Sony do this with Astro Bot, I think it's awesome. And just from its humble beginnings in the VR, and then it's a bit of a little mini game effectively on launch of the PS5 as something for people to play with. I think more of this is going to be awesome. I was just thinking about Mod Nation again. Like, I really love that game, and so the fact they don't have like a real proper competitor to Mario Kart, I find interesting. Because they could really go down with the Mod Nation and just go all in with the customization and make it really live service. And I'm surprised they haven't done that by now. And then I think Nintendo's got the chance next year to do it without anyone really properly challenging them in the lead up to it. So
that Chocobo Racing tried to do it, like that sort of whole thing where you're paying for battle passes and you're doing that type of thing. But I don't know, it didn't really catch on. I don't know if people were looking towards the Final Fantasy series for their Mario Kart
I feel you need a bigger, broader collection of characters, or the Mario Kart is so synonymous with it. But I think they're the big ones for me. I would have thought. Yeah, I'm just surprised it hasn't happened with Sony. But and then we've seen All Stars. What was the Smash Bros clone they did? Battle All Stars.
PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale.
I was going to think that. It effectively imitating exactly what Smash Bros is, isn't it? And I just don't think it did as well from what I hear. I never played it properly.
I quite enjoyed it. I quite
You did?
enjoyed All Stars. They didn't copy it enough. So what they did is I feel like the developers like, hey, look, we can't just ape Nintendo's concept. We're going to look like buffoons here if we do it. So the whole thing of the game was basically you don't like build up a percentage and knock your opponents off. When you hit your opponents, you build up a meter and you can build it up to level 1, level 2, or level 3, and there'll be finishing moves. And the only way you can actually kill your enemy is by doing these finishing moves.
Oh.
So you've either got stock or you've got like a time limit, some of the Smash Brothers, but it was nowhere near as satisfying. Like the actual gameplay itself was interesting enough. Like, playing as Kratos was pretty cool, and Cat from Gravity Rush came out in DLC, which I was excited about.
I like that.
Later on, I did like that.
Yes.
But yeah, it just wasn't satisfying. Like, it's just like you're just hitting each other, been like, oh look, I got my level 1. So I better look out now. It's just kind of like imagine a Smash Brothers if you could only kill them with your final smash. It's like you're just hitting each other just to build up a meter. Like there's no like
I don't like that.
There's no like, oh look, I had a lapse of judgment and I didn't do my up B properly and I fell off the stage. There's no like, there wasn't any sort of any changes within the game that could happen. It is very much about like doing
like some of the fun stuff that happens with Smash Bros, like you accidentally dying or falling off a stage, or like some of those instant takedowns. Someone could like give up one of their stock lives to, kamikaze themselves as they kill and finish you off. Just stuff like that, which I think really makes it fun or funner.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, all of that just was not able to happen in that game through that simple game design choice.
Yeah.
And look, I get where they're coming from. They didn't want to copy them, and I respect that. But yeah, what they came up with wasn't all that satisfying. Like when you're doing 4-player, if you have like built up a level 3, like some level 3s were like just instant kill, like insta kill.
Yeah,
it's like all right. I was like, I can't do anything. Like it's just wasn't as satisfying. But I think if you were a fan of PlayStation, it was just cool to see those characters and see them jumping around, because if you just look at a screenshot, you're like, oh my God, it's like Nathan Drake and Cole McGrath fighting each other. Looks like the big Smash Bros. That's pretty cool.
So weird, isn't it?
Yeah, you play the game, it's just like Nathan Drake's just using his handgun, building up his meter, and Cole's throwing stuff from the other side of the stage. Because they both had like really crazy projectiles, so you're just like throwing stuff, building up your meter, use it. Yeah, it's a bit, it is what it is.
I don't like it. Yeah. Yep.
But
how about you? What's your pick?
I definitely want like a good kart racer, because I think when it comes to like Nintendo have a few genres just locked down, and the biggest one they have locked down is just the kart racer. Like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it sold 60 million copies. There is not another developer on earth who can put that type of resource into a kart racer. This is no one.
Nope.
And
Correct.
I guess, the companies like PlayStation, Xbox, like the big boys, they're like, hey, look, Nintendo's got that. We're not going to do that investment to try and compete with Mario. And the only competitors that do pop up is just like Nickelodeon All-Stars Racing, for example. It's like, look, we want that kids market. They like these types of games, so we'll cheaply make these games. There's been 3 Nickelodeon kart races on Switch alone. And, so you just get stuff like that. So the gap between Mario Kart and Sonic All-Stars Racing, or I guess the closest one would be Crash Tag Team Racing. That'd be the biggest one. The remake on PS4 and Xbox One. That'd be the closest thing. And a lot of people would, some people, like, especially from the PlayStation 1 days, really prefer that game because it controlled so well, even compared to like Mario Kart 64. But even playing it, like, that game's locked at 30 frames a second, whereas Mario Kart 8 is 60 even on Wii U. Like, it just feels, to me, just Mario Kart 8 just felt so much better and looked so much better, but I didn't have the nostalgia for it, and I honestly didn't give it that much of a go. I played it a little bit on Switch, the Crash Bandicoot one. So, yeah, maybe I should try that a little bit more. I think I might get a bit more of a kick out of it if I go back to it. But, yeah, definitely a kart racer. I would love to see, like, a really well-made kart racer that
with solid online as well. Like I think again, gaping hole. Opportunities are there.
Yeah, I think I think some of the things I just want from the next Mario Kart at this point. I just want imagine like a hub you can all hang out in, like driving your carts around and things like that. Like just really robust sort of multiplayer and single player and all that. That's what I want from one of these games. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, we can save that for another day, I guess. Mario Kart 9 wish list.
Wish list, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I think I'd also love to see like a really good Smash clone as well. We're getting plenty of them. Another Nickelodeon one, which is actually pretty good. The Nickelodeon...
It was decent.
Is that one called All Stars? Nickelodeon All Stars? I can't remember. But that's the Smash Brothers. Like I actually got that. I bought it on Steam. It was in a Humble Bundle. It's pretty good. Like it feels pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just no Smash. That game just feels so good, and that's another game where what developers can put the resources that Nintendo puts into Smash Brothers into one of their games, it's just not going to happen. All of the resources they go towards like RPGs and narrative games, and all of the stuff that sells. But Nintendo's just got its own little market there where they can heavily invest and just make billions out of these games that no one else makes. It's kind of interesting because
pretty crazy.
Yeah, everyone else is like sort of fighting over the same ground, whereas Nintendo really, it's not just with their system. Everybody points to the Switch and says, "Hey, look, they're doing their own thing," but it's not just with the hardware. It's just with the software as well. No one's heavily investing in 3D platformers, kart races. Probably the biggest competition they got is Zelda, where Zelda's like directly competing with a lot of like the biggest games, single player games.
Yeah, that's right. It's pretty amazing. Did these developers literally just feel like, they just what's the point? Because it's going to get compared to these Nintendo games, so let's create something else.
Don't blame them. I wouldn't want to try and compete either. I'll make a...
Yeah, it's a tough battle.
Yeah. No. So, one of those.
Yeah.
Make us one. All right. Josh, let's wrap up the show. We got some questions last week from a couple of nice boys in our Discord. First up, we got one from Levanede. And we should have answered this before, actually. Now I'm looking at it. Yeah. Levanede says, I've been playing the demo for Emio, and I'm not sure if I like it. Do you think it gets better or worse as the game goes on? Josh, what do you have to say about that? You played the demo, and you had a little bit of time in between the demo and the full game. How would you say, does it escalate from there, or does it stay at a similar pace?
I think so. The demo, you get the prologue and then the first 3 chapters. I think chapter 3, it ramps up a little bit more, and I got a bit more intrigued from it, and I was sort of gripped and hooked from then on. It will have its moments of ups and downs, and some chapters might feel like it lulls a bit. So if you're not really sold on chapter 3, I don't know if you're really going to like it overall. In saying that, it just ramps up extremely high, that last chapter, and then the epilogue at the end is just like, here's everything, stuff's happening, and it just like, oh my god, like you're just like all this stuff's so cool. I'm just trying to retain it all right now. So, I think it's totally worth it. And then I'm looking through things for a second time now and just like realizing where things I was missing and what was going on. But if you don't feel it while playing the demo, I think overall I'd say maybe not, because you got to get through a little bit to get to the end, to get the big payoff.
I think it stays at a pretty similar pace like throughout the whole game, to be honest with you, until like you said, towards the end, where it's like you are putting together a couple of pieces, and then like suddenly you're putting down like 5 pieces, like it's all connected, you've sort of worked out. So yeah, I'll probably say probably not for you, Levanede. But there's so many other games to play. I dare say you can spend that cash elsewhere if you're not feeling it.
One of those things, and it's not going to be for everyone, this game.
Yeah, no, they're definitely not. But like I said, I really enjoyed it. So thank God for that.
Thank God for that.
Otherwise, I would have had to not play it. I would have had to play something else. God. Could you imagine?
Yeah, and you've got nothing else to play, Drew. Nothing else that really interests you in the month of September, anyway. Eh?
I bought Visions of Mana.
Okay.
And I've got like no time for it. But I'm glad I did because it's one of those games I don't think it's going to be very hard to get physical copies. And I did want to support the developers because it looks awesome, but it's not the schedule, Josh. It can be later. I'm looking at October and like November and December, looking a bit quiet. So
Okay. For now.
there it goes. For now.
For now.
Next up, we've got the Winter Gamer. He asked, what is the perfect amount of gameplay to promote a game? Can you show too much like the latest Zelda? And I think this question comes up because of just the big blowout from Echoes of Wisdom, showcasing a bunch more things, like dungeons and the ability to be able to use sword fighter form and a bunch of stuff that sort of, it opens the game up once again from what they showed last time. I was like, oh wow, this game's a lot bigger and a lot more detail than we thought. And then they sort of show a bunch more mechanics that lead us to think, oh wow, it's even bigger again. And I feel like this last trailer, I could have discovered this in the game. Honestly, I would have liked to discover this in the game. I think like the one showing the overworld and a bunch of things and doing like, I forgot what it was called, but like binding yourself to items and enemies and doing that. I'm like, oh, that was cool to know because it sort of expanded my thoughts of like what this game can be. But the last trailer just showing a bunch of this other stuff, I'm like, oh, look, probably didn't need to say that. And I would have really enjoyed like getting the ability of the sword fighter form in the game. Oh my God, like that would have been really cool. So for me, I feel like it's showing a little bit too much, but I also think it's very competitive month. A lot of stuff's coming out. And myself included, you look at this game and you see the Link's Awakening art style and you just automatically think to that game, which is a basic game, which is a Game Boy game. And you're like, oh, well, it's just another one of them. Cool. But it is a lot more than that. I think Nintendo want to get the message out. So they put together a couple of presentations that really sort of show like how much is in the game. So I understand why they've done it. But I guess selfishly for me, who's going to play it anyway, I'm going to pre-order it anyway. It doesn't really matter. But there's a lot of people out there who's like, oh, look, I can skip this, I dare say. So it's up. I guess it's just like the big fans, the super fans out there who are like, oh, look, show me nothing. But I think most people would probably appreciate it.
Yeah, I totally agree on this. We saw the reveal for Echoes of Wisdom in the Direct in June. Like we were sold straight away as Nintendo fans anyway. It was like Zelda playable, like, yep, I'm like keen for it, sign me up. And then the premise of, using the echoes is going to be so different. And so like, yep, I'm sold on it. And so every trailer that's come since has been like, okay, yep, that's cool. It's cool to see, blah, blah, blah. Good to know. There was like, but then there was murmurings, or is Link going to be playable? Like, oh, do you get a sword at all? So there were those questions that kind of like were lingering.
Yeah, like fun questions like, oh, look, I can't wait to play the game to find out.
Yeah, for sure. And so when that latest one that you were talking about, that trailer got released, I started watching it because I just didn't think about it. Oh, there's a new trailer, so I'll just watch it. And I was there with Michaela, and she's like halfway through it, and she's like, I don't know if I want to see this because like I don't want to like get spoiled. And I hadn't thought of it, and I thought, I think you made a good point. So we backed out of it. It was 2 minutes into the 5-minute video, and I haven't watched the rest of it. And I don't plan to because I think I would like to see this stuff as much as I can for the first time now when I actually play it. So I definitely think there is such a thing as too much. They probably go into it thinking not everyone's going to watch everything they post out and put, because people who do that are going to buy it anyway. They're kind of, mega fans. Yep. It doesn't really matter. But this sort of, I think that last stuff sort of quelled and quashed a few sort of worries that people might have had about the game, what it might look like, feel like, play like. And I think, if you're sold on something, the less you see, there's probably a greater chance you're going to be more blown away when it comes out, and your socks get removed, blown off with the excitement and things you don't see from the trailer. But it's a fine, tough line to follow, and then especially it's for us who make podcasts talking about this stuff, and you watch and you talk about it. It's hard for us to avoid it as well.
Yeah, it's very well. It's not hard in some ways, because if I saw it, I'm like, I don't need to watch that. Like,
Well, you follow people who talk about it as well. So I think
that's
from
true.
that point of view, you're just in the hive of it all. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way I would have been able to not see it just randomly on Twitter, being like, hey, look,
correct.
Zelda has a sword. So, okay.
Yep.
There you go.
There is such a thing as knowing too much.
She's wearing Link's skin so she can use his sword. She's got his Triforce of courage for a minute.
Pretty courageous. Zelda's pretty cool.
So, yeah. Thank you very, very much for your questions, boys.
Yes,
Josh,
thank you.
does that bring us to the end of the show? Anything else you'd like to touch on before we scuttle on out of here?
I'm just going to plug my stuff again. Just latest episode, did a big deep dive on Emio with Oliver Brandt from Vooks. He wrote the article reviewing that game, gave it 5 out of 5 or 100%. So he's like one of the few critic reviewers who gave it full marks. And so you get to see and hear why he loved that game so much. We talked in depth about that. And then all my other stuff on Nintendo Live, please check that out, the vlog, the shorts, and then the mega episode discussing it.
Yeah, please go and check it out. It's a very good listen, very much worth your time. I went into depth about their experience. How long did that Nintendo Live episode go for us? An hour and a half?
It's about 90 minutes, a bit over, I think.
Yeah. So, yeah, very in-depth. So if you want to hear more about it there, and if you're in a country Nintendo Live hasn't come to yet, have a bit of a sneak peek. Maybe it's going to Peru next year. Who knows?
What the hell? Not Singapore? Somewhere. Let's do a big tour. Let's Nintendo, spread your wings and give it to the masses. I reckon.
Bring it to Adelaide. Make it easy for Josh and I to go.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Nintendo Live Adelaide?
No, I can't. I can imagine Melbourne, and that's about it. In Australia, anyway.
Nintendo Live Adelaide. It's just got like a couple of like original launch switches, just playing. What's a bad Nintendo game? Just
Everybody 1-2 Switch.
Just playing Everybody 1-2 Switch. Yeah, Nintendo Live. Yeah, come check out this out.
Yeah,
Can you feel the marbles and the Joy-Cons? Crazy.
Rocks up.
Yeah, just amazing. Yeah. You can check me out on YouTube, youtube.com/iDruby. I put up an unboxing of the Astro Bot controller and ranked the first generation of Pokemon. Did a couple of videos. Go check them out if you feel like it. If you don't have to. It's a free country. And if your country you live in is not free, well, you're forced to. You have to. So I appreciate it anyway. But till next time, guys, thank you very much for listening. But the doors to the House of Mario, they're closed.
Bye, everyone.
It took me a minute to get the door sound effect loaded up.
Hey, there it is.
But there it is. Get out of here.